Welcome to the fascinating world of rates of change. Today, we are embarking on a comprehensive journey into a guide to derivatives, the slope of a curve. We will explore the profound transition from algebra to calculus. In traditional algebra, the world is rigid, linear, and unchanging. Slopes belong exclusively to straight lines, and they are constant, no matter where you look. However, the real universe is rarely composed of perfect straight lines. Things accelerate, decelerate, grow, and decay in curves. In calculus, slopes become alive. They breathe, shift, and adapt continuously. By the end of this exploration, we will discover how a single, infinitesimally small point can vividly narrate the entire story of a complex curve, allowing us to master the mathematical language of change. Let us begin by grounding ourselves in the familiar territory of algebra, the realm of constant change. Think of driving a car at a perfect, unchanging cruise control setting of 60 miles per hour on a completely flat highway. If we graph your distance over time, we get a perfectly straight line. The equation governing this is typically y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope. The slope here is defined as the rise over the run, the change in the vertical axis divided by the change in the horizontal axis. Between any 2 points on this line, the slope is absolutely identical. It is a reliable, static number. Algebra elegantly handles these constant velocities, but it hits a hard mathematical wall when that velocity starts changing. This brings us to the problem with curves. What happens when you press the gas pedal? Your speed increases over time. You are no longer moving in a straight linear graph. Your distance-time graph becomes a parabola, a curve curving upwards. Let us look at the classic function f of x equals x squared. If you try to calculate the slope using our trusted algebra formula, you immediately face a dilemma. Which points do you pick? If you choose points near the bottom, the slope seems gentle. If you choose points higher up, the curve is incredibly steep. The steepness is completely different at every single coordinate. Algebra has no mechanism to calculate the slope at exactly one isolated point because the formula requires 2 distinct points to find the difference. We need a new mathematical tool. To bridge this gap, mathematicians introduced the secant line, a first approximation. Since we cannot measure the slope at a single point yet, we compromise. We pick the point we care about, let's call it x, and then we pick a second point just a little bit further down the curve at x plus h. We draw a straight line through these 2 points. This line is called a secant line. Its slope represents the average rate of change over that specific interval h. The formula for this secant slope is the famous difference quotient, f of x plus h minus f of x over h. This formula is the very foundation of differential calculus. It's a clever algebraic trick to approximate a curve by treating a small piece of it as if it were a straight line. Now we reach the cornerstone of calculus, the limit, bringing points together. An approximation is good, but perfection is better. What if we take that second point, x plus h, and slowly slide it closer and closer to our first point, x? As we shrink the distance h closer and closer to 0, the secant line pivots. The interval gets infinitely small. We are applying the concept of a limit. We are asking the mathematical universe, what is the exact slope as the distance between the 2 points approaches absolute 0? As h shrinks, the secant line transforms right before our eyes, stabilizing into a single perfect line that barely graces our curve. Behold, the tangent line, a points story. By bringing the distance h to infinitesimally near 0, our secant line has officially evolved into the tangent line. This line touches the curve at exactly 1 point and mimics the exact direction the curve is heading at that microscopic instant. The slope of this tangent line is what we call the derivative. It's no longer an average rate of change, it is the instantaneous rate of change. If our curve represents distance, the tangent slope represents your exact speed on the speedometer at that precise millisecond. A single point armed with its tangent line now successfully predicts the immediate future of the curve's trajectory. We can take this a step further and construct the derivative function. Instead of calculating the tangent slope at just one random point, what if we calculate it for every single point along the curve and plot those slopes as an entirely new graph? For our parabola, f of x equals x squared, if we plot its shifting slopes, we get a completely new function, f prime of x equals 2x. This is the magical power rule in action. The derivative function is a master map. It tells you exactly what the slope of the original curve is at any location. We have effectively translated the abstract geometry of a shifting curve into a clean, precise algebraic function. But why does this matter? Let us discuss the real-world meaning. Calculus is not just an abstract puzzle, it is the invisible engine of the modern world. In physics, derivatives transition us from position to velocity to acceleration, allowing rocket scientists to land probes on Mars. In finance, derivatives, in the mathematical sense, help model marginal cost, maximizing profit dynamically in fluctuating stock markets.
In modern artificial intelligence and machine learning, a concept called gradient descent relies entirely on derivatives to navigate complex data terrains, teaching neural networks how to learn. Calculus is the mathematical language of optimization and dynamic change. In conclusion, the journey from algebra to calculus is a journey from the static to the dynamic. We moved from constant slopes and straight lines to living, breathing slopes on curves using the ingenious concepts of limits, secant lines, and tangents. The derivative remains one of humanity's greatest intellectual achievements, pioneered by giants like Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in the 17th century. By understanding the infinitesimal, we unlocked the ability to comprehend the infinite complexities of the real world. References: Calculus by Michael Spevek, The Calculus Lifesaver by Adrian Banner, Calculus Early Transcendentals by James Stewart.